Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm going to share a story with you. It's a story about learning English and how it can change your life. It's not just my story, but also the story of many people who have found the power of words. Once, I didn't know how to speak English. I was a shy girl, always sitting in the back of the classroom. I felt lost when the teacher spoke in English. I wanted to cry because I couldn't understand a word. My best friend, Sarah, was always helping me. She spoke English so well. "Emily, don't worry," she would say. "English is not hard. You just need to try every day," but it felt hard to me. One day, something happened. It was a rainy afternoon. I was sitting in my room, trying to do my English homework. I looked at the book and tears started to roll down my face. I didn't want to fail again. I decided to ask Sarah for help. She came over with a big smile, and we started working together. She said, "Emily, English is like a puzzle. You just need to put the pieces together." That moment changed everything for me. I realized that learning English is about taking small steps. It's about trying, even when it feels hard, and most importantly, it's about not giving up. If you are learning English, don't try to learn everything at once. Start with simple words. Words like hello, goodbye, and thank you. Use these words every day. I remember the first time I spoke English to a stranger. It was at a store. I needed help finding something, but I was so nervous. My hands were shaking. I went up to the lady at the counter and said, "Excuse me, where is the milk?" She smiled at me and answered, and I felt so proud. It was a small moment, but it gave me the courage to keep trying. Sarah always told me, "Emily, you need to practice. Even if it's just for 10 minutes a day." So, every day, I would try to read a little or listen to a song in English. Slowly, it started to make sense. One day, I was watching a movie. It was in English, and I understood most of it. I couldn't believe it. I called Sarah and told her, and she said, "See, you're getting better." But learning English isn't just about understanding words. It's about connecting with people. There was a time when I was very sad. I had lost my grandmother, and I didn't know how to express my feelings. I wanted to tell someone how much I missed her. That's when I started writing in English. I wrote a letter to my grandmother, even though she was no longer with us. It was hard, and I cried a lot. But writing that letter helped me heal. It helped me say goodbye. When I was learning, I made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I used the wrong words, or my sentences didn't make sense. But Sarah would always tell me, "Emily, it's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn." Once I was talking to a boy in my class. His name was Jake. He was very smart, and he always spoke perfect English. I wanted to impress him, so I tried to use some big words, but I ended up saying something completely wrong. I felt so embarrassed. I thought he would laugh at me, but instead, he smiled and said, "Hey, that was close. You're doing great, Emily." That moment taught me that it's okay to not be perfect. What matters is that you try. Music was a big part of my learning journey. I love listening to songs, and I found that English songs helped me learn new words. I would listen to the lyrics and try to understand what they meant. One song that really touched my heart was Fix You by Coldplay. The words were so beautiful, and they made me feel something deep inside. Music has a way of connecting us, no matter what language we speak. Having Sarah by my side made all the difference. She was patient, and she believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. If you can, find a friend who will learn with you. You can help each other. There was a time when Sarah was struggling with something in her life. She was going through a tough time, and she didn't know how to talk about it. One day, I sat with her and said, "Sarah, I know how you feel." We talked for hours, and I realized that learning English had given me the ability to help my friend. I could use my words to comfort her, and that made me so grateful. I didn't like reading in English at first. It was hard, and I didn't understand most of the words. But Sarah gave me a book that changed everything. It was called The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. The story was beautiful, and even though I didn't understand every word, I felt the emotions. I cried when I read it, and it made me realize that English could touch my heart in ways I never thought possible. Learning English takes time. It's not something you can do in a day or even a month. Be patient with yourself. I used to get so frustrated when I didn't understand something right away. But Sarah would always remind me, "Emily, learning is a journey, not a race." There was a day when I had an English test, and I didn't do as well as I wanted to. I was so upset. But then I remembered that it's okay to take things slowly. Every mistake is a step forward. One of the best ways to learn is to speak. Don't be shy. Even if you make mistakes, just speak. I used to practice by talking to myself in the mirror. It sounds silly, but it helped me a lot. Once I was at a party and I met a girl named Jessica. She was from New York and she only spoke English. I was so nervous, but I decided to try. We ended up talking for hours, and it was one of the best conversations I've ever had. I love watching movies, and I found that watching them in English helped me learn a lot. At first, I used subtitles, but over time, I didn't need them anymore. It was like a door had opened, and I could finally understand what was being said. There was one movie, the pursuit of happiness that really moved me. The story of a man who never gave up, even when everything was against him, inspired me to keep going with my English. The most important thing I learned is to believe in myself. There were many times when I wanted to give up. I thought I would never be able to speak English. But Sarah always told me, "Emily, you can do it. You just need to believe." There was a moment, a very special moment, when I realized I could finally speak English. I was at a job interview, and they asked me questions in English. I answered confidently, and when I left, I felt like I had conquered the world. That's what English did for me. It gave me confidence. It gave me a voice. Learning English isn't just about learning a language. It's about finding your voice. It's about connecting with people. It's about expressing your feelings, your dreams, and your thoughts. So, if you're learning English, keep going. It may be hard at times, but it's worth it. English opens doors. It helps you meet new people, understand different cultures, and see the world in a new way. I want you to know that you can do it. You can learn English. You just need to take it one step at a time. Writing is another great way to practice. Start by writing simple sentences. Write about your day, your dreams, your fears. It doesn't have to be perfect, just write. There was a time when I was feeling very sad. I didn't know how to talk about it, so I wrote in my journal. I wrote in English, and it helped me understand my feelings better. Every time you learn a new word, celebrate. Every time you understand a sentence, celebrate. It's important to recognize how far you've come. I remember the first time I had a full conversation in English without getting stuck. I was so happy, I felt like dancing. Moments like that remind you why it's worth the effort. Learning English has changed my life in so many ways. It's given me confidence, it's helped me connect with people, and it's opened up opportunities I never thought possible. Try to make English a part of your daily life. Listen to English podcasts, watch English videos, and read English articles. The more you surround yourself with the language, the more you'll absorb it. There was a time when I felt stuck in my learning. I wasn't improving as fast as I wanted. But then I started listening to English podcasts. During my walks, it made a big difference. Finding a community of English learners can be really helpful. You can share experiences, ask questions, and learn together. It makes the process more enjoyable. I joined an online group for English learners. We would chat, share tips, and encourage each other. It made me feel less alone in my journey. There are many great apps that can help you learn English. They make learning fun and interactive. You can practice speaking, listening, and even grammar. I remember using an app called Duolingo. It was so much fun, and it helped me learn new words every day. I would compete with my friends, and it motivated me to keep going. Always stay curious. If you hear a word you don't know, look it up. If you see something interesting, ask about it. Curiosity will help you learn faster. One day, I heard a new word while watching a show. I didn't know what it meant, so I looked it up and found it fascinating. It opened a whole new world of words for me. English is spoken in many different ways. Don't be afraid of accents. They make English rich and diverse. Try to listen to different speakers from different places. I once met a girl from Australia. Her accent was different from mine, but it was beautiful. I learned that every accent tells a story. Even when you feel confident, remember that there's always more to learn. Language is always evolving. Stay open to new words, new phrases, and new ideas. I continue to learn new things every day. There are still moments when I feel lost, but I remind myself that it's all part of the journey. Learning should be enjoyable. Find activities that you love and incorporate English into them. Whether it's cooking, painting, or dancing, find a way to make learning fun. I started cooking recipes in English. It was a fun way to learn new words, and I got to enjoy delicious food at the same time. Lastly, always keep a positive mindset. It's easy to get discouraged, but remember that every step counts. Celebrate your small victories and keep pushing forward. Every time I learned something new, I would tell myself, I am getting better. That belief helped me through tough times. As I look back on my journey, I see how far I've come. I went from a shy girl who couldn't speak English to someone who can share her story with you today. A beautiful thought to end. Language is the key to the world. With each word you learn, you unlock new doors, new friendships, and new opportunities. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember that every effort you make is a step toward your dreams. Now, I want to hear from you. What is your favorite English word or phrase? Share in the comments below. Your journey is important, and I'd love to support you. Let's continue learning together.